Just heading down for a Maccas coffee. Oh, better turn that off. Okay, that's the thing with doing recordings. Always got to turn the music off for copyright purposes. It was a bit unfortunate because it's nice to have a bit of music going in the background. I'll have to find some music that doesn't upset the YouTube rules. Until then, no background music. Yeah, the car's due for a wash. The windscreen's very dirty. That's that one there. Prefer to go over this lane over here. Zone, of course, so I'm just putting my foot on the accelerator there. It'd be interesting to see if it goes this way to Maccas, as it shows there. That'd be good, because typically it went a further block or so and came right around the other way to get to McDonald's. It'd be interesting to see if it does it this way. Might have to take over here because it's wanting me to go the extra block like normal. So just take over here. Yeah, I didn't do the reason or send a message to Tesla that time. I just was concentrating on doing what I was doing. So missed that opportunity to describe why I disconnected. However, it's not a big issue, I don't think. It's just a personal preference in the route I wanted to use to get there. Now, the version used in the US has the ability to go through a drive-through like this autonomously. I think once you line it up like this and then select autonomous, it'll stop at each point like this.
Are you using the app today?
Yes.
What was your code?
HZ97.
That's all going through. Drive forward when you can.
Thank you. So yeah, it would autonomously stop at this station, take the order, and then know to move on if available. It's pretty cool. And then stop where payment is made if that needed to be made, and then autonomously stop to pick up the items that you've ordered. So when we get hopefully the next version for Australia, I'll be looking forward to testing that one out and see if that ability is similar here in Australia as it is in America. I've got a printed off a, just a Google search on Australian government's intentions as far as autonomous cars are for Australia, and I'm going to add those to the end of one of my videos. And also I've printed off the full self-driving supervised versions ever since version 13, and showing that Australia and New Zealand got theirs in September 2025 when it became available, and that the American version is up to 14.2.2.2 with all these extra features and bug fixes along the way. Yeah, so I think that's interesting just to display where we are in the scheme of things as far as versions of full self-driving, and the opportunity for Australia to get one of those more solid versions for our use here prior to unsupervised. That's how I think it may go, unless we go, I don't imagine us going straight to unsupervised. I think we'd need quite a few. Thank you. Good on you. You too. I think we need quite a bit of kilometres mounted up on the version that we're using now before they'll release an updated version. I think that's just a good safety protocol to use, and maybe even produce or release a version to a number of regular users of FSD in Australia prior to going wide release in Australia for hardware version 4 cars. Just my thoughts. That's the sort of process they used in the US of A, was to send it out to not only employees but also some people or YouTubers that are promoters of FSD, and they can relay, just like when you do car reviews of a new car coming on the market, those sorts of people do reviews of the software. This is their interpretation of that. We're giving it to those sort of people initially, getting the word out broadly, quickly, through those influencers. That's the way of social media nowadays. Yeah, so I think they'd adopt that similar sort of method in Australia, but that's just my guess. Looking forward to the next version, as always, to test out what features they've allowed in Australia. They're confident to release broadly. Of course, it's just me in a country town, or country city, in regional Victoria, so not the traffic that one has in the major cities, metropolitan cities, but those sorts of people will be located to look after the majority of users of this software. So heading over to Portland today, but I won't be using this Hardware 4 version vehicle on my new car. We'll be going over in Carol's car. So I won't be able to post this one to YouTube, at least till I get home from Portland back to Warrnambool here, and then you know, copy the data over and then post it to YouTube. If I remember, hopefully I'll just add those documents I was talking about regarding autonomous vehicles in Australia and the versions that that we're on and when, and how many versions that America have ahead of us. There's an opportunity for us to pick up one of those maybe before the unsupervised version becomes available in the US, and then a time after that hopefully Australia will get that once we've got the government's permission to use that software in Australia. The end game, of course, is to save lives. When you've got 8 cameras, 9 cameras, watching 24/7, you're taking all these people that drink drive, drug drive, tired, distracted on their phones, all these sorts of things that cause accidents and deaths on the road, and speeding. You got all this really getting handled by an autonomous car, and once it's proven it's safe enough to use, more safe than a human driver, then society is going to have that enormous benefit of a reduction in road deaths and horrendous injuries. Any sort of injuries, car accidents, is going to be reduced, I think, just in relation to the number of vehicles on the road that have the autonomous ability driving people around. Firstly with their own cars like I do, and with robo-taxis as well. Anyway, that's my little rant, I guess, as I'm just about ready to pull up at home and swap cars and then off to Portland. Of course, it doesn't recognise our house up the top, so I'll disengage here and head on up. Park my car in there. Oops. It doesn't cancel off, which is a bit different. Just got to wait till the steering wheel's dead ahead before the blinker switches off or the turning indicator switches off. Now I just use the reverse camera, select reverse camera, so I can see I've got the back of the car inside where the roller door comes down, and I like to pick up that line there, and that's it. Catch you on the next one.